explain to my salespeople, and I'd like to kind of clarify it with y'all. The techniques in a sales training program are not some magical system that causes somebody who doesn't want anything to magically want to buy your product. There is no such system. If there is, it's not ethical. The sales process is to break down the resistance, to get that person that really does want something to tell you what it is that they want. So, when they say, we're just looking, our takeaway is this. Well, you know what? You picked a great place to do that. We've got some beautiful jewelry here. What are you just looking for? I used their exact phrase back to them. It takes those words away from them, and it makes it next to impossible for them to say the same thing again. Most people won't go, I'm just looking a second time because it feels rude. Now, we go back and forth. If they really have absolutely no need for anything, they may give you another pushback. But if they are looking for something, your chances are greater now that they're going to tell you what it was. Well, my anniversary's coming. When they give you that information, we have to figure out how long it's going to be before they have to fulfill that. The timing is important because in the jewelry business, if it's a guy shopping for an anniversary, the anniversary is today or the anniversary is tomorrow. Because we don't shop for parlors. And that means I'm going to sell them something that we have in our store. But if it's that unusual guy that is planning a month in advance, maybe we're going to custom design a piece for him. So timing is important. We guess most of the time with the guys that you're going to need it wrapped in. You need it in an hour because dinner's in an hour. Once you've determined their need for the item, now you have to determine what that item is, and you do that through probing. Here's where most salespeople fail. They hear what the need is and when it is, and they immediately start showing merchandise. Well, if you do that, you're showing the customer what you want to sell them, not what they need, because you don't know what they need. The only way you can determine what their need is through probing, asking lots of questions and then listening intently to what they say. Because sometimes they're going to give you the direct answer, and sometimes they're going to say it to you in code. But either way, you have to listen intently to what your customer says and stop talking. Too many salespeople talk their way out of a sale. Once you've probed to the point that you have narrowed it down to the product that customer needs, it's time for the demonstration and the trial close. In my opinion, the entire sales process is a close. You're closing the entire time you're selling. Through body language, through eye contact, through words, everything. But in a demonstration, and I'm sure everybody here has been through sales training courses, and we've all heard that you sell on features, advantages, and benefits. That customers buy benefits, nobody buys features or advantages. We do features, advantages, benefits, and we do at the end a thing called agreement to make sure that what we have determined is important to them is important to them. So, I'm not going to try and sell you a piece of jewelry today, honestly, but I am going to use a piece of my jewelry as an example of how we do this so that you kind of get an idea of it. This is a Reactor watch. It's the best made watch in the world right now. Reactor went through and determined what was wrong with watches and fixed it. And I'm just going to feature, advantage, benefit, agreement, one of those things. Most watches break right here where the band meets the case. The spring bar snaps out and your band comes off. There's two problems with that. First of all, it's annoying. Second of all, if you're on a boat or climbing on the side of a mountain and it snaps off, you've lost your watch forever. Reactor doesn't use a spring bar. They have machined a tube in here that's 400 times stronger. 400 times stronger than a spring bar, and you can't break it. Okay? So, the feature advantage is that it's stronger, you're not going to break it. The benefit is you can wear this watch doing anything that you want to do. You never have to worry about this watch falling off your wrist and losing it forever. And then the agreement part is, and if you're going to spend this kind of money on a watch, isn't it really important that you have a peace of mind and the security of that watch? You can wear it anywhere. If the customer says, no, that doesn't really matter to me, then I have gone the wrong direction with what I'm trying to sell my customer. But the agreement's important, because if he says yes, you know you're on the right track. I tell my people to do 3 feature, advantage, and benefits, and then attempt to close. There are thousands of closing techniques. I'm going to talk about one, but my intention is not to teach you how to close a sale. My favorite way to close a sale is through the add-on, which is one of my goals in my store to increase my average ticket item. by adding another piece of merchandise to it. Now, some people consider add-ons as dishonest or sleazy, or they don't like the idea of an add-on. Salespeople have to look at add-ons as a customer service. It's important that you at least attempt to add on. The first thing everybody has to remember is customers have the ability to say no. And a salesperson should never say no for their customer. So if I sell a lady a necklace, the way that I attempt to close the sale as well as add something on is I'll say, you know what, that's a beautiful necklace that you're going to get there. I've got a bracelet that really complements that. Can I show it to you? At this point, she has the ability to say no. And if she says no, we'll stop and move on. She may say, no, I'll just take the bracelet. Well, guess what? The add-on just closed to the necklace. If she says yes, then I've increased the average ticket sale. And then, once we've closed the sale, whether she takes the add-on or not, and we move to the counter, we have one more upsell. And that is, right now in my store, it's a jewelry cleaning kit. It's regularly $15. I sell it all the time for $15, and it's worth every penny of $15. But because the customer bought something from me today, they can have it for $10, which is a great value for the customer. Why am I willing to sell it at $5 less than I was originally? Because all of my overhead is tied up in the first sale. The advertising that I did that drew them in is tied up in the first sale. And everything you add on is almost pure profit, except for cost of goods. Once we attempt the upsells, we gather their information. And we gather their information two ways. First of all, my computer system gathers all their information at the point of sale. We get their names, their address, their spouse's name, their children's names, birth dates, anniversaries, everything that we can possibly think of to get in there. And my employees fill out the customer sheet that goes in their book. My employees carry around their customer books around all day long. If they have nothing else to do, they will open a book, call a customer, and just find out how the customer's doing. They don't call and try and sell them something over the telephone. They just call them. How is that piece of merchandise? Are you still happy with it? How's Lou doing at work? Whatever the case may be, it's a personal conversation that continues to build the relationship with the customer. And then, after the fact, they send out a thank you card. And like I told you before, it has to be personal. Now, in the jewelry business, we have a challenge, and that is we don't want to send a thank you card before an occasion because we don't want to ruin the occasion. We hope Jane loves that 3-carat diamond solitaire that you bought her and then get it 2 weeks before the anniversary. And our system for that is my people, but see, the other problem is if I don't make my people write the thank you cards on a consistent time frame, they forget about it. So, everybody writes their thank you cards the week after the sale. If there's a specific date that they have to look for it to be sent out, they write the date where the stamp is supposed to go. They put it on my general manager's desk, and when he sees that date hit, he puts a stamp on it and sends it out. But at least that way, everybody is consistently writing thank you cards. And the other thing I want to say about that, and I said it before, but it's outrageously important, and that is our objective is to wow our customer. We want our customer to tell their friends how great Snowden's is, because that, obviously everybody knows, referral business is the best type of advertising that you can possibly do. So the highlights for what we do here, my employees have to use our system consistently. Consistency is the key to anything. Because if you're not doing it consistently, this great customer that you've built a relationship comes in on a day when you're off, somebody else waits on them, they're not as good as you, and the customer leaves with a bad experience now. So consistency is important. I have about 30,000, actually right now it's a little over 30,000 customers in my database. And this is the key data that we always collect from people because we want to stay in contact with them. That's important for us. In the people management, which I talked about earlier, when I decided that things were just, I didn't have enough time to do everything, I had found a guy that I wanted to hire that worked in another jewelry store here in the mall, here in town. He worked in the mall. And he was a great salesman. As a matter of fact, I shopped his store one day to compare prices on diamonds. He waited on me, and when I walked out, I wanted to buy a diamond from him. And that's weird. And I knew I had to have him in my store. I just had to. He's a dynamic personality. I hired him, I made him my general manager. He runs my store. He motivates my people. He takes a load off of me. And he makes it possible for me